All right, well, we're here. August 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the calm before the storm. We're going to do an update. This is what's going on. This is what's going on with the insanity of the market. This is why everybody's losing their mind. We are now in the next wave. We have about, what do you guys think, 4 to 6 weeks before full crazy kicks in. So we're in August. This is being filmed August 1st, 2025. We are in the heart of the bull market. We are in one of the greatest collectible bull markets I've ever seen in my lifetime, if not the greatest. Who knows how long it will last, but that's where we're at. We have 4 to 6 weeks before the new Pokemon era starts. The ME, the Rudy the Mega Evolutions ME1, Set 1 is coming. And I'm sure by now you've all been blown up with the Marvel Universe Set 1 Spider-Man Magic the Gathering. I will make another video on the collector boxes, the prices, the comic book style. Instead of poster cards, I guess there's like comic book style cards. I don't know what's going on with the serialization of Spider-Man. I don't know if there's going to be one-of-ones. I have no idea what's going on. I will make a follow-up another week. Spider-Man is, I think, end of September or mid-September. 45 days. So, where are we at? Okay. So, Magic the Gathering. We just passed Edge of Eternities. Extremely high demand. I blew through all 5,000 Magic the Gathering Edge of Eternity play boxes. I did the full case to you guys for about $100.70 for Magic play boxes by the case. You guys went nuts for them. I am trying to get more. We should get more in probably within the next 60 days. I don't know how much it'll be, though. I did offer people who didn't want to buy a whole case. We did a half case for $109, so we did jack the price up and slap you in the face. As of the filming this video, Edge of Eternity play boxes are still sitting $135 plus tax. About $150 a box shipped, so about $900 out the door for a case. Holy moly's of play boxes. That's wow. Pokemon bull market continues to be absolutely insane. And also, I want to discuss Flesh and Blood now. So Flesh and Blood is releasing their Mastery Pack set. The Guardian Mastery. I don't have a ton of it. Got a little half pallet. And I thought it was a pretty good product, but a lot of you guys have been just feeding me with how disappointed you are in the Guardian Mastery thing. I'm not really sure in the vibe of that. It's like a little mini half booster box. People who were excited were off the chart excited. Other people are like, oh, you just buy the singles. Buy the singles. Don't touch it. It sets a bad precedent. I'm not really sure. I may be misinformed on the Guardian thing. I thought it was pretty good. See, my problem is right now I've been so behind in everything. I haven't been doing any box openings in the last 30, 45 days. So I didn't get to open any high Cs. I haven't opened any Guardians. So for me, it's been a little tougher for me to follow all the attitude and everyone's positive and negativity on these products because I'm not really sure. You know, one of the reasons I did the box openings, it helped me keep up with what's going on in these products. I know there's already a lot of chatter with the new Flesh and Blood set, but again, folks, we're still a ways off on that. It's nowhere near coming out. We just had high Cs. It was an absolutely banger of a set. No, I don't have any high Cs for sale. Please don't ask. It was, people loved it. It was incredibly successful. So I miss doing box openings on Flesh and Blood and Weiss and Magic and Pokemon. And hopefully Sorcery has a set, as on time for Gothic, because I'd really like to do some box openings. I haven't done any in a long time, everyone. But I really wanted to give you all an update that this is the moment over the next 4 weeks. What I expect to see is softness in random products, as a lot of stores are going to be required to raise capital. So like Edge of Eternity's collector boxes, we saw on release day, there was like a 1 hour window where Edge of Eternity collector boxes went from like $450 to like $350. And now I think when I saw this morning, they're almost back to $400. I mean, these things are swinging $10, $20. The cheapest price is jumping $10 to $20 by like literally 15 minutes. It's very unpredictable to predict. When you watch this video, it may be back to $450, it may be lower. I have no idea where it's going to be at. Either way, My personal advice to you all, if you are continuing as a collector or investor for Edge of Eternities or Magic collector boxes as a whole, this is definitely going to be your time. If you are trying to build a position in Edge of Eternity collectors, this is the time you need to go after it. It's pretty much the best window of opportunity for you. The downside risk is very limited compared to the longer term potential upside. It's already, we're going through that release day plus 15-day volatile period. And I predict by the end of August, we're going to see a lot of surprises in the market. And again, the overall Wall Street equities, the S&P, and of course, Bitcoin and crypto could also influence any of this. If we have a major crash or swing or downturn or anything, of course, that is very unpredictable in the short term. But what I do think is going to happen is I think we're going to continue to see little pockets of opportunity because stores are going to be required to raise a ton of capital for distribution. We are going to go into September is going to be an absolute madhouse. Just the fact we have Spider-Man Marvel Magic the Gathering, the first ever major Marvel ridiculous thing, with the all-new block of Pokemon launching within weeks of each other is going to be a major burden on the industry, a major just vacuum of money, and we're going to see people locking in things and raising capital by selling other things to prepare to move into this to pay their bills. So what I think we're going to see is right now all these Magic collector boxes are going crazy. I think we're going to see some of them cool off. We may even see some 10-20% retracements because so many people have made so much money on these price appreciation. I think it's going to be a good time if you missed out to kind of quote-unquote buy the dip kind of thing. It's not going to affect everything. For example, right now, as of the filming of this video, we're at Final Fantasy collector boxes at $1,425 plus tax. So now we're about $1,550 out the door on TCG Player. And between eBay and TCG Player, we are still seeing 30, 40, 50, and even some days last week, 60, 70 boxes a day selling on the two main public platforms. I mean, when you're averaging 30 to 60 boxes a day of a sell-through at $1,500, I feel really bad for anybody who's been waiting to buy the dip or waiting for the surge foils to tank in price or waiting for the chocobos to come down in price. It is what it is, folks. I mean, it is what it is. I don't expect to see anything change. I mean, Lord of the Rings holiday specials are $2,500, $2,300. I mean, Final Fantasy should match that. The question is how long will it take to get there? I didn't think Final Fantasy would rise this quick. I thought it would be another 12 to 18 months, but market conditions remain very, very hot. So things are appreciating faster than normal. And to remind you all, I would say easily 30 to 50% of everybody watching this video and into the card industry right now have not been here long term. And I'd be willing to bet 1/3 of everybody, which is 33% of everyone in the industry, is only going to stick with it as long as the flipping and the quick appreciation holds. Once we see a blip in the road, a speed bump or something crash, or prices stop moving up. Literally, I'm telling you folks, if we have a single 6-month block of time in Pokemon boxes of anything Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield, the new ME, any of these things, if we have a single 6-month block of time, anywhere between the day you watch this video to the next 12 months, all we need is a little window for the market to just be sideways. Kangaroo market, literally tread sideways and hop. As long as we see that, or not as long as, when we see that, that alone is going to start flushing people out. Because people aren't going to have the capital to sit on things past their 30-day credit card grace period, and people get impatient, and the people in this market are the most impatient humans I've ever seen in my entire life of being a cardboard warrior. So I think what I'm getting at with you all is we have all the new card games coming to market. Hololive, Godzilla, Gundam, all these things, and they're all doing really well. Shocker, right? Ooh. And we have the Magic, the Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, Weiss, even One Piece. One Piece has a new set in a few weeks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell it on release day. I think because distribution told me this one's in 2 waves. So I may have to sell it like a week after release or 2 weeks after release. to wait for both ways to combine. It's super weird. I don't really know why that is, but whatever. We do have a new, and again, One Piece continues to be an absolute banger also. And yeah, you got Star Wars and Lorcana, and of course, you do have Sorcery with their once-a-year set coming around Halloween, if they stay on target, which so far is looking pretty good. And to remind you all for the 5th time, I'm sorry, I do not have the Sorcery Dragon Lord Ed Beard Jr. things. They look super awesome. I don't have any. I wish I did. Unfortunately, I don't have access to that product line. I am aware of the situation. I'm aware of the internet's anger. I'm aware of all the drama with it. Everybody wanted it for $50, $60, $70, even, I don't know, $80, $90, and I'm aware that they're like $150, $200, $250, $300, all this goofiness. I mean, there's just not enough to go around. Most stores don't have access to it, and, you know, the internet's calling it like a little mini Sorcery Secret Lair product, and it's just a really cool product that everybody wants, and there's not enough to go around. Now, whether or not the company prints more, whether they leave it alone, well, I have no idea. You guys would have to reach out to the company for that. Unfortunately, I don't have the product. Sorry. So, no, I will not be selling that. I don't have it. So, I guess we can... I want to touch on the regular Pokemon box situation, and I want to touch on the standard Magic play box situation. So, we're in August of 2025 when you watch this video. Another month has gone by, and there's been absolutely zero progress on Wizards of the Coast fixing and correcting the supply situation for the play boxes. Every month that ticks by, the odds are dropping. If this was a poly market, sports betting, gambling, casino, whatever it is you guys are all into, every month that goes by, the odds are tilting more and more that we are never going to see a correction, and we are never going to return to this previous market where play boxes and draft boxes were just endlessly readily available. It's just not looking good, folks. So, reason I'm bringing that up is, obviously, I'm a hoarder. I'm a Florida man. And because of this, I'm going to start taking action to help the patrons have more choices. So, I'm going to start adding, we're going to go backwards. So we're going to test it for the next month or a couple months. Let's see how it goes. No promises I'm going to leave it this way long term. So I'm going to start adding to the $118, we got our Carlo Thunder Junction, we got our Dustmorn, and since we're missing so many new sets, I am going to start adding older boxes like Brothers War. We're going to start adding the, Brothers War, Phyrexia, March of the Machine. So we're going to start adding some older out-of-print boxes to let you guys choose. And we're going to just leave the price all at the $118. We're going to leave it all the same. So some of these boxes are going to seem really cheap. Some are going to be like, oh, that's $3 more than my basement. And, pick the ones you want. Maybe some of you guys missed out on it. Some of you guys don't like sets. But we're going to start adding some more variety at the same price to kind of help fill that void. Because we're literally, I'm hoping to get an Edge of Eternity's play box restock. But even if it's like 50 or 100 or 200 boxes, I'll take thousands more, and there's just no more right now. I'm hoping within the next 30, 45 days, I'm able to at least get a pallet or two of Edge of Eternity play boxes. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, Hasbro, don't you want the revenue? Like, everybody's begging for all these play boxes. Like, what a situation that we're in. In the past, everybody's like, reprint the reserve list. That's where the money is. And, screw the investors. What does Mark Rosewater do? Let's make a Magic 30 Collector's Edition with the reserve list, but different backs. Even though we said we wouldn't do that, let's do it anyways. This is my monthly reminder that was real, and you didn't dream that. Let's see how that goes. Oh, it one of the biggest flops in history. All right, so let's all look the other way and pretend that didn't happen. And nobody cares about the reserve list. We'll make another follow-up video in the next week here, but nobody cares about the reserve list, so doesn't matter what vintage anything is dead. But, you think Hasbro and Wizards would want this revenue. I've never been in a situation like this. I'm sorry, the last time... The last time I was in a situation where I couldn't get basic standard Magic boxes was like Khans of Tarkir era. And like Fate Reforged, into Kaladesh, after Dragons of Tarkir, because they just didn't print a lot back then. Even though, to today's standards, everybody thought that was printed to oblivion, which everybody was wrong. And, we're in this time where now there's just zero. And it almost reminds me of like the 2003 through 2009 era of Magic, came to an end with New Phyrexia and, Scars of Mirrodin and Besiege, New Phyrexia, that block. And that was the last time, I believe. And then there was the Dark Ascension, Innistrad, Avacyn Restored. Like, that was like that 2010, 2011 range. And that was the last time that print runs were like this unavailable. And, we've got another 3-4 months. If we make it to the holidays and the end of the year, and we go from August and we go to September, October, November, December, and we start hitting that November, December Q4, and it's just tiny little restocks and a one pallet and this and half this. And I mean, I'm sorry, folks, we're not going to go into 2026. And they're not going to be saying, well, okay, Bloomborough is 2-3 years old. Let's print more Bloomborough in 2027 and 2026. Like, it's going to start, like, I expect at least an attempt at some reprints in 2026 for Bloomborough. But we're getting to the tail end of the cycle of printing, because now Wizards is going to have like 7, 8, 9 sets in the reprint queue. And it's like, I mean, Foundations I thought was supposed to be available everywhere and print to oblivion. Nobody wanted it. Remember that? And, then now Tarkir Dragonstorm and Final Fantasy and Edge of Eternities. And, I've never seen a situation like this where we just have no general boxes. Like I said, I was ranting a second ago. Everybody just cared about reprinting reserve lists, and I hate collectors investors. Then we pivoted to collector boxes in Magic are the problem. And reprint the collector boxes. Wizards says, all right, well, fuck off. We're going to put serialized cards, and that's over with. So I was like, okay, no big deal. So collector boxes are for evil collectors and investors, special variants and art, and serialized cards, and special versions of the cheaper cards in the play boxes. No big deal. Okay, now the normal play boxes. Not from 1 or 2 sets, from 5 sets are unavailable. And I'm just like, what are they going to do? Build 50 new printers, and by the time it's up and running in a year from now, print 1 million of everything and collapse the market? Are they just going to move on? Are they smart enough to realize this stuff is cyclical? Like, I don't know. So, to let everybody know, that's how I'm handling it and navigating it. Thankfully, I have a lot of old inventory and things for doing this so long in the last 20 years, so I'm able to navigate drier periods of supply substantially better than most people. I guess it's a good time to pivot to Pokemon. Yes, for August 2025, per the request of you all. So I did a Flesh and Blood whale kit with like old high-end Flesh and Blood about a month ago, just to see how it would be. And it was a big success. And it was funny because after I did that, a whale kit for big collectors, investors, high rollers, I started getting a bunch of patron messages and messages from you guys saying, Rudy, you got to do the same thing with Pokemon and like Magic the Gathering. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, people start saying, Rudy, you got to do like a whale kit, Sword and Shield. I'm talking, go hardcore, battle styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Fusion, Lost Origins, Silver, I don't know, Brilliant or Astral or something with it. You gotta do like a six box whale thing. So I was like, okay. So yes, in August we are gonna test our very first Pokemon whale kit. So essentially, I'm going to add up the market price in TCG Player of Chilling Reigns and Fusions and Evolvings and Lost Origins and however many ridiculous amount of thousands it's going to be. We're going to add it all up, add that normal 7, 8, 9% sales tax. Whatever that number is, we'll chop off $500 to $1,000. So for example, let's say it's $5,000. With tax, $5,500. So maybe we'll chop off like $700 and drop it to like $4,700. And we'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Everybody's been commenting that'd be a really fun thing to do, so we're going to try it. A lot of other people have been asking for more other things. We have some patron specials coming up. If you're into Magic, we're going to be doing Adventures Forgotten Realm pre-release kits that are essentially non-existent in the world at this point. A lot of you guys have been asking me for those since I mentioned them in a video here a few weeks ago. And we're going to offer that so a lot of people can go back in time and enjoy that experience. We're also going to be doing some interesting things I got a hold of. Some of it came from me, some come from some other stores that needed capital. And we got some Kaldheim pre-release kits and even Modern Horizons 2 pre-release kits and cases. So we got some really cool, unique older sales and different things coming up here within the next 3 to 4 weeks. But again, to remind everybody, this is the in-between month. This is the calm right now. When September hits, it's going to be fucking crazy again. Because when's that new Weiss set? When's Azure Lane 2? That's not September also, right? Tell me that's not September. Tell me it's October, November, please. That's going to be, and then of course, in the next 7 to 10 days, I'm sure you all already know this, the final restock or wave or reprint, the final supply of the Nikki Weiss boxes. It's not Nikkei, it's not it's Nikki. The final supply of the hot chick boob girls is coming. Apparently they're still labeled as all first edition, gold signatures. Even the cases have the original promo playmats from the other wave of release. So, which tells me, I'm not sure this was a full reprint, and they may have known this was coming. They may have sat on some extra product, and maybe I'm not sure what it is. Especially with the uncertainty of the tariffs and things with President Trump and the U.S. economy. I'm thinking Weiss may have went ahead and done extra on this hot set and kind of planning. That's kind of my instinct, but I have no evidence. I could be completely wrong. These people, Bushy Road, who knows what these people are going to do. That's going to be a big deal. So, and I know a lot of you all keep asking me to do a video on some Weiss product lately. There's been a lot of Weiss sets that have been really moving in price lately and then becoming impossible to find. I mean, even the Nikkei, even the Nikki girls, okay? You go on TCG Player, and with how hot and demanded that product was, and the higher print run everything, the market obliterated it. The boxes are like super stable at like $75, $80 a box, not going up or down. The chase cards, there's 2 or 3 like SPs or SECs, there's 2 or 3 chase cards in the set that are completely sold out on TCG Player. And I'm like, it's unbelievable to see some of this stuff with the supply and demand curve of some of these products and single cards, man. So that's what we're looking at right now, okay? So August, patrons, I'm offering you guys some older boxes. We're bringing back March of the Machines, Brothers War, to give you guys some more variety to choose from. If you want them, that's cool. If not, let it be. And of course, we have a small Weiss release in the end of this month. We've got the Nikki restock, reprint, reload, the final wave of whatever coming in the next 7 days. We are going to be doing the Pokemon Whale Kit, going balls deep. I know some of you guys are even asked me to do a Pokemon with Scarlet Violet, where we just do a straight up, like SV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know a lot of, but we're gonna go with that route, and I'm trying to also figure out how to handle these ancillary products for Pokemon. Now, I guess I'll go into this tangent right now. So in the past, I never really carried tins, poster packs, binder packs. I never carried a lot of these accessories with before Twilight shrouded into Surging Sparks. That's when I started expanding to all the ancillary products. I didn't have a choice. I'm not, now that this has been going on now for like a year with me, I'm accumulating. I haven't showed what it looks like, but it's getting pretty ridiculous. And the problem is, like, every 2 weeks, distribution is like supplying me with these small reprint restocks of like 2 cases, 1 case, 3 cases, 5 cases of this, 2 cases of bundles, 1 case of bundle. And then it's like all these random sets. So I have no way to get even inventory of any of this stuff. So I keep just kind of sorting it and trying to build it up to get some quantities so that I can do something, run a sale, break it down, maybe do something where it's one of every single thing. I've been trying to work on that for the last 6 months. It's been very, very challenging. I even had a unique opportunity come up with another evil collector investor store owner who actually is starting to back away. That's why I saved this for later in the video. One of these stores that I've known for a long time is starting to back away from the larger volume of collecting and investing sealed Pokemon because of fear of how market top or crash or anything. And this individual has, I mean, like no joke, like 300, 400 like prismatic ultra premiums. And I don't have that many of these things. And I'm like, that's like 2 pallets or something of these things. So I'm trying to work out this deal to get some of these, because that'll allow me to run future sales and actually get enough. Because it's difficult for me to run, because if you aren't familiar, I get more pushback and it's more problematic if I try to sell product to you all or to patrons or just discuss it. If I run out too fast or people don't have a fair chance to buy it, that leads to a worse experience and more anger and hatred and blah, 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 account closures, FU, the classic thing we always run into. So I really like to make sure that we can have enough supply. I'd like, to run a patron sale, and it stays available for a month, or, even if it's a hot Friday night sale, at least it's in stock for at least 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So people can look at it and be like, do I want to buy this? It's probably going to crash. I'm going to wait. And, I don't like the idea of, putting something for sale and 6 minutes later it's gone. Like, that's what happened with like Edge of Eternity play boxes. Like 5,000 and change boxes in like 5.5 minutes or 4.5 minutes. I don't know, whatever the exact, like it was in 5 minutes. Like, and a ton of patrons missed out. And of course, a ton of patrons are just living large. It's like, oh my God, I got a whole case, $300 off market price. This is amazing. And, it creates that very divisive thing. And, he starts getting me the messages of, well, what's the point of supporting Rudy if I can't even do anything? And it kind of goes into a weird tangent category that I try to avoid. But that's about it. I just wanted to share that the market is still very, very hot. Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, One Piece, that they're leading the way with their releases, and they're still booming. Lorcana seems very calm and stable. I don't know if I should make a video on it, but I don't want to, because it comes off as like I told you so. But I had about 20 of you guys message me in the last 3-4 days of staying. Rudy, are you going to cover the Lorcana set 1, the first chapter, about what's happening to the box prices and the cards? And I didn't know what was going on, but apparently, out of nowhere, in the last 30 days, these $500 boxes like collapsed 50 to 60%. And they went from 500 and change to like $230 a box. And this is like set 1 of Disney Lorcana. I'm not sure what shifted. I don't know if there's a big reprint coming. I don't know if somebody found supply, something happened. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of you guys blew me up on messages on that. I just wanted to bring it up in a video. Again, I don't carry Lorcana. I'm sorry, I don't sell Lorcana, and I stand by what I've said in the last 2 years. I'm just very skeptical of Ravensburger and their ability to control and properly have discipline for markets, secondary markets, print runs, and the balancing act required to manage a business or a card game. You have to have the thickest skin in the world, because the internet will attack you for underprinting. They will attack you for overprinting and driving it to the ground. And then, of course, if prices go up, the game piece army says you're the devil. If prices collapse, nobody buys your product and you go out of business. So it's a very nasty position that management has to take. That's why they're considered the bad guy kind of thing, But, so that's your channel update. That's what we have going on in August of 2025. Other than that, let's see here. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing 1 or 2 small things. PremierCardGrading.com. We have been starting our sports card division. Very, very cool. We've been getting orders from the public and you guys for some sports cards. So we've finally been branching off into that. And there is going to be some announcements with PCG pretty soon. We are working on some more locations and actual brick and mortar kind of LGSs, some packages, and some drop-off locations. We are in the phase over the next probably 90 days to expand PCG to the next level, since we've got all the tough and kind of the entry-level basics and the basic getting the business off the ground after what happened years ago when Channel Fireball was running the card grading business in the United States. So we've really been able to restructure, stabilize, build up relationships with stores and LGSs who are doing big volume with private discounts and private codes. And it's very exciting. I'm very proud of that. I think it's really cool. Feedback from you guys has been off the chart positive on the slabs, the lasers, the labels, the grades, the accuracy. I mean, overall, it's been like 99.9% fantastic. Obviously, we're human, so there's always going to be that 0.01 where we make a mistake, or the label's got an imperfection, or there's debris, or a piece of dirt or something, or hair or something gets stuck in the slab, or maybe there's a wavy sleeve, or there's a crack in the case. Well, there's always going to be defects, which is we do the best we can. Past that, I just want to remind everyone, kind of brace for impact, because the market's been going up so much with Magic and Pokemon. The slightest, I'm telling you all, see, I'm not actually worried about the card market collapsing or bear market, but my fear remains. Be aware, if we have Bitcoin collapse from 120 back to like 50, 60, anything below 100 at this point, I guess you could say, not little moves, anything big. If we have the S&P 500 have a 10, 15, 20% correction, bear market, anything, if any of these trends change, the card market can sling really quick. Now, I don't know if the older stuff's going to go down in Pokemon or Magic, but it can affect the new stuff very, very quickly. So that is a very, very real risk right now. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to be like Flesh and Blood. I don't think is impacted. Too much international presence around the world, different locations. I don't think Flesh and Blood would be impacted as much. I don't think One Piece would be impacted as much. I think the biggest impact, number one, is probably going to be Magic, and number two is probably going to be Pokemon. That's kind of my opinion. I don't think the One Piece, the Weiss, I don't think Flesh and Blood, I don't even think Disney Lorcana, Star Wars, Sorcery, I don't think any of these brands are really as sensitive to the overall macroeconomy because of the size. Because when you're Magic or Pokemon, you print so much. If you have the macro settings under your feet, like an earthquake, so if it shifts or pivots on you, and that load, giggity, if your load is so heavy and that ground floor pivots on you, I mean, it can fall, it can crush you hard. And I think that's, because everybody's just so afraid of this Pokemon collapse and bubble and everything, and I don't think it's really, it doesn't feel like a bubble. It just feels like a frenzy. And, and it makes everybody nervous because, we know the growth rate is too high. And we know growth rates at this level are unsustainable. But we also know markets can be irrational way longer, than, we can accept or we can remain solvent or anything. Markets can remain irrational for years. I mean, what were some good examples? Like even the crime and the scam on Wall Street with like Bernie Madoff in 2008 and everything. Like this is a dude who's been scamming and doing Ponzi schemes since what? For like 20, 30 years? And 2008 happened. If 2008 crash never happened, he'd still be going today. And my point is, that underbelly of someone doing that, or, it can last a long time. Even if it's built on some fake, termite-eaten fake, weak wood. It can still hold up the house of cards, And, a lot of people have anxiety on that, It's a lot of fear right now with that kind of thing. But, I think the focus is definitely more on the Bitcoin and the health of the stock market and the money machine. I think that is really what's going to be the continuing driving force of the card world, more so than you all saying, oh my God, Rudy, Spider-Man's going to be amazing. Rudy, the new Mega Evolution Set 1 is going to be amazing. I think the products are fine. Wizards, at this point, with the collector boxes and the new releases and the universes beyond, you can say anything you want. You can hate it. You can hate Dr. Cox. And no, I'm not just saying Cox, folks. Chris Cox is the actual CEO of Hasbro Wizards. I mean, it is actually Mr. Cock. I don't know why you guys always comment below, like, why does he keep saying Cock? Because the guy's name is actually Dr. Cox. Anyways, tangent. The product, I told you all in the other video, they cracked the code for collector boxes. It took them 5 years. And to end this video, everybody, yeah, I heard Spider-Man collector boxes are $1,000. Dude, Spider-Man does not come out for 45 to 50 days. And the collector boxes are $1,000. Thanks for hope you guys enjoyed today's video of sitting and talking with Rudy. Hope you all have a beautiful day out there. I hope my videos can help you think for yourself, make rational decisions. And sometimes we all just need someone to talk to and listen, and it helps us navigate and kind of regurgitate and, you know, kind of swim through information and data. That's why these talks are important. Some of these videos, it's healthy and important for me to talk to you all because it helps me navigate and think about and break these things down and think about them. And, you know, it helps me a lot, you know, and that's something that, you know, I feel has a lot of benefit. And hopefully it helps you guys out there to think about things and price check things. And I guess we'll have the next few videos coming up. I'm sure it's going to be more collector box price spikes, Pokemon price spikes, Weiss price spikes. That's all I got, folks. Thank you for watching. Welcome to August. As always, patrons, thank you for the kindness. As the largest patron army in the card world, we march forward, everybody. Have a beautiful day.